It's time for Daniel Ghanimé's presentation, Regression to Cause, Hypnoanalysis from Freud to Elman. And Daniel is a seasoned practitioner and trainer with a track record of success with individuals, couples, and groups. And his work is focusing on reshaping and reprogramming emotions to build resiliency and emotional awareness in children, my favorite, children, teens, and adults. So I would like to introduce you to Daniel, who's going to do a fabulous job.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Actually, it was nice, jumping from one day to another. That today I woke up with a sore neck and with sleep deprivation. By the end of this event, I guess Cheryl will be sleeping for 15 days. Larry will be having amazing time, also sleeping for 15 days. I'm not sure if I will survive it, but in any case, I'm going to go on doing that. So, not to go through plenty of details. I talk too much. Everybody knows that. But something hit me one day when Larry was talking about his father, when his grandfather passed away. And everything that Dave Elman asked for was his father's library at the age of 8. So we're talking here about a bookworm. And then it hit me again when he talked about Dave Elman reading Bernheim at the age of 8 almost. So basically, we're not talking about the average bookworm. And later on, it was like an indoctrination of the why in the family that led Dave Elman knowing about, the eye catalepsy, why the focusing of the eye, why using the eye. So he went, further ahead to ask plenty of whys. And one day, during my training with Jerry Kine, it was mentioned that, according to Sigmund Freud, amnesia lies at the root of all neurotic symptoms. So basically, it's our duty to uncover those forgotten reasons by yet to know methods. So actually, this pushed me toward another why. And just to confirm, in the world of social media and fact searchings and these kind of things, if that sentence was really something real, or like it was made up just to give a confirmation for hypnotherapy based on Freudian kind of thinking. And here comes Get Out, the movie that disturbed everyone. And after that movie, as if that wasn't enough, we had Netflix putting Freud in front and just disturbing everyone else by the paltosh. So hypnotherapy. So basically, I went searching for plenty of documentation, knowledge, and things about that. So I'll be jumping between demos, stories, and fact-finding. It's going to be like a big bowl of salad of plenty of things. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask me at any time. I'm not the kind of guy who waits until the last minute because I'm like that. I just ask questions. They just pop up. So whenever a question pops up, just hit me with it. So basically, this research, if I may say, it is based on one issue of the American Journal of Clinical Hypnosis. That's volume 44, issue 1, 2001, talking about hypnotherapy and, the view of Sigmund Freud on hypnotherapy. And some of Durbine, Gilboin's, what Sean Michael Andrews talked about yesterday, and some cross-referencing from Freud's works, plenty of hypnotherapy from Dave Elman's book, and lots of chit-chats. So let me start by a story. I was one day teaching hypnotherapy to a group of psychology students, and basically here in Lebanon, almost everybody of psychology major are quite indoctrinated by psychoanalysis and Freud. And talking about hypnotherapy to Freudians, it's like, I'm not sure, preaching God in the middle of a cannibal kind of I don't know, Amazonian. I'm not hitting on Amazonians, but anyway. So basically, it's like going somewhere in the middle of the jungle and trying to tell them that there is no sun god, and then just do that again. So basically, you might be lapidated, crucified, or worse, you will be just burnt at the stake. So it has stopped happening the minute I said the phrase that I mentioned earlier: amnesia lies at the root of all neurotic symptoms. And everybody was just hitting on me. And one of them was one of the worst skeptical students that I had. Actually, she's very nice. She's like, but talking about skeptical. And she was Freudian to the bones. So what happened there, by the middle of the training course, she said, I have problems swallowing pills. Okay. So what's their problem? Taking medication, swallowing the pill. Actually, now my life depends on it's almost. I have to go through a very severe diet. I have to take these supplements. These big pills of ferrite. The iron pills, and they suck. They're too big, and like small pill is hard for her to swallow. So basically, I said, no problem. We're gonna do that. And we go whenever you have time. Following the first session during regression to cause, everybody knows, sometimes, swallowing pills can have like deeply rooted issues with plenty of stuff during childhood. Okay, that's what we do in regression to cause anyway. So basically searching for that ISE, what in your opinion, let's say, from kind of speculative point of view, what in your opinion could be the reason behind someone not being able to swallow a pill? Here we go. Anyone?
Being force-fed as a kid.
Force-fed, okay.
They choked on it once before.
Choked on it?
People being asked to swallow garbage that they don't believe.
Okay. Other?
Past life that they got hung.
Okay, I'm gonna shock you with that. We regressed, and then first impression, inside, outside. I'm in the car. Okay, alone, someone with you, of course. At what age are you? I'm 8. So like, okay, 8 is quite some sort of an age that it cuts in between, because we were taught that the critical faculty should be, the problem should be before 7 years of age, but no. So basically, what's happening? We go into the pharmacy. Okay, good. Why? I had a problem. We were at the doctor. We were going to the pharmacy. I'm with my mom and siblings. My mom went to the pharmacy. What's happening next? We going home. She brought the medication. Okay, I'll count to 3. You'll have the first recollection of having any issue with swallowing a pill. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Where are you? Inside, outside? I'm in the kitchen. Okay, what are you doing? I have the pill in my hand. Okay, what happens next? I can't swallow the pill. Okay, is it the first time you feel that? Yes. Okay, what happens next? Okay, nothing. I said, like, okay, I'll count to 3. I snap my fingers. It was online, by the way. I snap my fingers, and it will be the first time you try to swallow that pill, and you just tell me, I'm not interested in any intelligence. You just tell me about what are you feeling? What are you saying to yourself, or whatever is happening? Like, okay, 1, 2, 3. Where are you? Inside, outside? I'm in my room. What are you doing? I'm standing with the pill in my hand. Okay. What makes like an 80-year-old girl doesn't want to swallow a pill? And then she started crying. So why are you crying? And here comes the shocking answer. I don't want to grow up. Okay, you don't want to grow up. Okay, and that's normal with kids. I don't want to grow up. I want to stay a baby. Like, okay, what does that have to be to do with swallowing a pill? Said grown-ups have pills. Children, they have syrup. Okay, that's good. So does that make your mom become a child if she has syrup? And she was, like stopped, as if time stopped there. Said no. Said, okay, are you convinced that if you take that pill, you're going to grow up? Said no. Said, go ahead and take it. That was it. Done. We're out. Everything's going fine. Next morning, following up with her, sent her a message on WhatsApp, and everything's fine. Are you taking your pills? Yeah. Any problems? No. Everything feels fine. Great. That's perfect. But I have another issue. So what is it? So I have a gagging issue. The gagging didn't go, but I'm being able to swallow the pill. Great. So are you interested in working with the gagging issue? So, yeah. What would you be able to do that online with the class? Would you mind? There's got to be like some sort of a content-free thing. But yeah, why not? So I was there, like in the class, you're going to do the induction and just get her inside. Everything is planned like anyone else. We plan. That's what they teach us. Plan your thingy, your session. And, you cannot plan with the subconscious mind. This is the major issue with the subconscious mind. It's unpredictable. It's a 4-year-old child. One time it's alive, the next time it's throwing a tantrum. So basically it was, okay, fine, out of hypnodontics, you can do things, like with part therapy or regression to cause. We're going to go regression to cause again. Close your eyes. Okay, take a deep breath, put your attention on your eyelids, blah, 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 patati, patata, it's going there. And I started at a deepener that everybody knows from the Isdale, Pauline's Isdale induction technique. So basically, I said, okay, now you imagine yourself on a staircase. And when I tell you to, and not before, you start going down on that staircase and you just double your relaxation with every step you make. And then when you reach the floor beneath you, which is floor A, you just say A. Perfect. A. Cool. Now we're going to deepen that more. Okay, you just start going down from A to B. And there was a silence. Okay. Are you going down? I can't. Why can't you? I can't. I can't pass the door. What door? And here we go. We have another regression that wasn't planned, that has everything to do with the gagging. It was like some sort of could be a molestation or anything else related to her. I didn't go into details. It was about the emotion. So we don't go like what's happening, everything, the state, are you wearing shorts, jeans, or a skirt? It doesn't mean anything. You just have that emotion of fear, that freezing fear, like fight, flight, freeze. She was in the freeze mode. She couldn't go down. She didn't continue the deepener. What that would say to everyone, if you're doing a regression, you don't have to follow a certain process. It just happened. So should you tell her, no, go, okay, go on, or change the deepener, or whatever you do? No, she regressed already. Deal with it where it is. So here it is, in front of that door. What's happening? My neighbor. Okay, I'm not going to tell you anything. You just go on. I'll count to 3. You will pass, to after whatever happened. And know that you survived it. It doesn't matter what was it. I don't know what it was. So you survived it, and it wasn't that long as you ever thought it would be. Because people, when they are traumatized, they think they're like, it's a never-ending thing. It could be like a 1 minute, 2 minute thing, but people, it feels like a lifetime there. So basically, after she went ahead of that event, she said that was hard. So he said, okay, we're gonna do that thing. We're gonna go before that event, like about 2 minutes before, you just step in front of that door, and you're gonna just change the scenery, do whatever you need to do to pass it. Okay. So what she did, according to her, she opened that door, she hit the guy where the how do we say it, where the sun doesn't shine, where little girls don't are not supposed to hit anyone, and she threw him off the balcony. Okay, great. How do you feel about that? I feel fantastic. That's cool. Okay, here we go. We'll come back. It was quite easy, and we did some forgiveness work, plenty of things that happened. The next, like in an hour afterward, about midnight, she gave me a call. She said, okay, I need to call someone. I need to talk to that someone. We need to just sort things out. So whatever wasn't done during the session, she did it on her own, which is perfect. Okay. Where Freud failed here, she was Freudian to the bones, as I said. And that shook her belief system when it comes to Freud, as Karen Hand would say, BS, her belief system. And what lies in the middle of the word beliefs, according to our fairy godmother Beryl, it's the word lie. And in the middle of the word lie, it's I. So I lie. That's beliefs. So these are lies we tell ourselves. So what happened there, and how Freud is linked to that? So basically, people think that Freud was blamed for this simplistic. He had a simplistic way of thinking about hypnosis, and because whatever happened during during that decade and this century, and all the writings reveal that hypnosis. According to Freud, it was a frank acknowledgement that psychoanalysis, our psychoanalytical theory and practice, owned, hypnosis to a certain extent. So even though he abandoned hypnosis as a clinical tool, theoretically, he was still interested in it, and he integrated, and he used it, and he developed it. So that girl had 5 years of psychoanalytical work with a psychoanalyst, a couple of, or 3, I guess, and nothing worked. So if Freud was working with hypnosis and psychoanalysis was based on hypnosis, why that girl wasn't able to pass through that issue? A very long issue that was rooted, actually, like Wendy Weber, she's with us here. She says about the dandelion thing. It's like you take one thing and all these roots about those syndromes, you don't know where it goes through. So you jump from one thing to another. It was related to her own self-esteem, to her own beliefs, to whatever she had to do with public speaking. Everything was related to that, to what happened in front of that door during that deepener. So Freud, while studying, actually, he met one guy called Hansen, the magnetist. Magnetism was way and at the top of that era there, and he had that profound impression of, and he was convinced, actually, there's a genuine hypnotic state, okay, and then he abandoned it. Why? So what happened? I'm gonna go talk a bit about what is hypnosis, hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, and why we get those. Can I share my screen, by the way? Can I do that?
Sure.
Yes. So, share screen. Yeah, I can share my screen. So, so basically, it's about, let's put it this way, hypnotherapy. And I wanted to answer that question. Everybody talking about hypnotherapy. So asking, answering that questions to Freudians was like isolating therapy from hypno. Cool. So we have a state and we have a technique. That's it. And by the end of this presentation, everybody will be feeling hungry. That's a direct suggestion. So basically, what happens, it's we have a sandwich. Everybody likes hot dogs? You like hot dogs? No hot dogs? Okay. You're going to just imagine it is something else you like. It's going to be a hot dog. So you have the bun. Okay, that's cool. Bun. Excuse my way of drawing things. And you have the hot dog. Okay. It's yellowish. I'm not sure. It's not even cooked. And then you have the condiments. Okay. Ketchup, mustard, and I don't know, some veggies, whatever. That's hypnotherapy. Done. My presentation is done. Not yet. Wait. So basically, what happens if we take it this way? Hypno is about the bun, and therapy is about the hot dog. So let's do it this way. In order to answer Freudians, I had to take hypnosis out of context and just think about it this way. If we're doing hypnosis, what are we using? We're using Gestalt therapy, like chair therapy, whatever, parts therapy, informed child techniques, sometimes EMDR, some parts of NLP, kind of guided imagery and stuff like that, which is not quite hypnosis. Like hypnosis is the tool, it's not the techniques. So basically, if I go and do that, take hypno out, which is taking the bun out, and leave us with the hot dog. That's even better, you know. It's quite healthier not to take all the sugar and the bun. So basically, we have the hot dog, which is basically it's about the therapy. So therapy. And the therapy, what does it include? So basically, if you're asking what is the bun, it's the induction and the emergence. So everybody knows that in hypno world, right? So basically, you have an induction, and then you have an emergence, and then you have the therapy in between. And in that therapy, we have quite interesting things happening, which are regression to cause. You have hypnoanalysis, and whatever you do in techniques in order to solve your problem, right? I'm not sure if anyone does it differently. You have an induction, you have a therapy, you have an emergence. So regression to cause, everybody is fearing regression to cause. So we go back to Mr. Freud. Regression to cause. Back in Vienna, Freud's closest friend, Joseph Breuer, was regressing in time hysterical patients under hypnosis to trace the origin of their symptoms and evoke normally inaccessible memories. This is written in Freud's, right? By the way, everything I say about Freud, it has, you know, references. So a strong emotional reaction to forgotten traumas would often eliminate their symptoms. Whoa, wait. This is, are we talking about abreactions here? Are we talking about release? Are we talking about something that we're doing now? And everybody is just being afraid of facing? I guess yes. You know, people, they will talk about abreaction. Oh no, don't do regression to cause that's an abreaction. You know, when you're eating your fingernails, that's an abreaction, for heaven's sake. If you're just pulling your hair, that's an abreaction. If you're having a panic attack in your car, it's an abreaction. Oh, wait. In order to be called an abreaction, you have to be in a clinic. So basically, either the clinic has the effect on that person to have an abreaction, or just abreaction happens in a contained kind of environment. But hell no. Abreactions, they just happen everywhere, anywhere, at any time, even in their sleep. So people, they just sometimes wake up having a huge abreaction, if I may call it an abreaction, a phobic reaction, feelings, yes, that's what we call like feelings. I will quote Carl Smith on that, like the fights, feelings, images, thoughts, emotions, and sensations. So everything that's hitting, that's an abreaction. So why, if Breuer was using that, why shouldn't anyone else? Why should we shy away from doing that? And basically, let's put it this way: it wasn't only Breuer using that. Charcot was doing that also, but Charcot was quite organic, as if we can call it, like physiological. He was inducing paralysis with hypnosis. So basically, he thought it was hysterical paralysis. So, but now we know about this Dale state. Okay, so we know about someone in deep hypnosis who doesn't move, the Harley-Davidson state, the catatonic state. He wasn't inducing hysterical paralysis. It was just hypnosis. It was a deep hypnosis. So while Charcot was using it just to induce the hysterical paralysis, Breuer was using it to regress to the cause of whatever happened there. Okay, that's something quite interesting, because when Freud traveled to Nancy in France to meet Charcot's rival, Hippolyte Bernheim, which Dave Elman read his book at the age of 8, and everybody knows about the 3 visits to Bernheim. He was observing Bernheim using hypnosis to treat his patients, many of whom suffered organic diseases. So basically, Bernheim was using hypnosis for psychosomatic illnesses, while Breuer was using hypnosis for regression to cause. And at that moment in time, Charcot was using hypnosis to induce hysterical paralysis. We have a combination of that symptomatic kind of way that we're dealing with it now, and it just came to us on a silver platter in a certain training, but we don't know that many people worked with that. So why the heck did they abandon it? And one thing to add, what we talked about hypnoanalysis, if we're talking about hypnoanalysis, I'll go back to the hot dog. Okay, so going back to the hot dog state, we're talking about hypnoanalysis. Hypnoanalysis at a certain time, by the way, did you know that Braid wasn't the one who coined the term hypn or hypnosis, hypnagogic or hypnotherapy, anything that starts with hypn? It wasn't Braid who did that. It was le Baron d'Hénin Étienne de Cuvier. That's a French guy the first guy who coined the term hypnosis, and he used something that he called, not me, hypnoscopy. So hypnoscopy was two things: suggestion, okay, and imagination, which is like physiology and psychology now, which from there we go through hypnoanalysis and we ask those questions, which is that we, hypnotherapists, never lead. We always guide. So if you ever lead someone in regression to cause, you're going to fail. Why? because you're leading them where you want them to be, while you just guide them in order to reach the point where they want to be, to help them pass through that. So what happened with the girl? Let's put it this way. We have the conscious mind, or a conscious moment, and a subconscious moment, if we can say it, or on subconscious level, or movement, or whatever you call it. That girl who came to me at the age of 28 had that start at the age of 22. I will be using the words, considering maybe many will know, but I will just say them. That's an SPE. That's a symptom producing event. That's the trigger. That's the first time she felt that feeling about gagging, which she didn't have, while she was a child. So whatever happened here at the age 18, which we discovered, let me put it way back just to get the graphical thing. At the age 18, we had the ISE of that thing that happened in regression here. And many SSEs, that's subsequent sensitizing events, that's 1, 2, 3, and so on, kept on happening from here and compounding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it manifested at this point. At this point, she knows there's something wrong, but it was happening all the time on subconscious level from the age 18 till 22. Every time she goes down from her apartment or parents' apartment, passing the apartment of that man, which was compounded until it was released at the age of 28. What we are facing here, regression is not only one thing. Some people, you tell them about regression to cause and they go immediately to past life regression, which is one of many. But we have an non-directed regression, which some people, they call it affect bridge. We have a directed regression, or pinpointing from Dave Elman's teachings. And we have a spontaneous regression. That's what happened. So in here, that was the pill issue. In here, that was the gagging issue. And at that moment in time, if I go back, the gagging related to whatever ISE related to the pill at the age of 8 here kept going, having at that moment in time mixing up SSEs, whichever happens, that was merged between swallowing a pill and gagging at the same time, which were two totally different issues rooted in two totally different points in time. The first one was released at the age of 8. The second one was released at the age of 18. So spontaneous regressions, you deal with it as it emerges. That's why we have to deal with it at the time where it emerges. The techniques used when we're doing regression to cause, put it on a certain timeline. If I had put that girl, okay, again, excuse my,
sorry.
If she sees me now, she will hate me to life, because I'm not sure if that the girl or an alien from an outer space. Consider it an attachment. So so basically, when we worked at the age of 28, with what happened at 22, started, experiencing, and we moved to 18. What happened here is that girl, when we worked with the regression, she went down here on subconscious level, and then as we went through, we were able to release it here. But the key issue in solving it is jumping a couple of minutes before to, inform that girl or that child or that at that moment in time that things are going to be okay and you're going to survive and everything's going to be fine, and then bring her back to prove that everything is going to be fine. That's a couple of minutes. So she has all that confidence in herself. Bring her back here and tell her to go through it. Basically, she reframed the whole thing. Probably she killed the guy. I'm not sure, in her imagination. Throwing someone from a balcony. I didn't ask what floor it was, but anyway, I'm sure he will end up with a virtually broken legs or quite chopped limbs. Anyway, so and in that perspective, if I want to look at it this way, if that tool is so efficient, if that tool is amazingly great, has been used for years and years and years and years, and people are being afraid of abreactions, of false memories, of all these kind of things that we talking about, misperceptions, it's all related to how do you do it? Are you doing it the right way? Are you confident enough? Are you skilled enough? And it's not related to the technique. Punk mentioned something earlier. It was, about the knife. I always use a gun analogy. Usually here in Lebanon, we have plenty of guns anyway. So putting a gun on a table, that gun could save you from someone who's coming to rob you, or could serve as a homicide, like tool or something. So basically, regression to cause, like any other tool, can be misused and can be like misinterpreted and can be feared by many, while it is amazingly great and has been used by giants like Charcot, Breuer, Bernheim, and Freud. So what happened with Freud, actually, to put it in a quite not a simplistic way, being very blunt about it, everybody knows that Freud used to smoke about 20 cigars a day. Freud smoking 20 cigars a day, it could be the reason why he developed a mouth cancer. And everyone knows that he changed his jaw because it was totally pulverized. And from there on, he had a very bad breath coming from, like, it smells, rattling teeth, anything, just name it. So I can imagine someone with bad breath trying to hypnotize anyone in front of him with that smell, telling someone, reading a pattern, a script, or telling someone trying to hypnoanalyze anything at that close range. I'm not sure if anyone could be able to focus on that. So basically, that one thing led to the psychoanalytical way, in a very characteristic way, of me, I sit, you client, you talk. Because at each time I open my mouth, there's something bad coming out of it in terms of smell and whatever is happening, and also about the pain in his mouth. But that wasn't it only. And if we want to go through plenty of work on the, like, cathartic release, what we do usually in regression to cause, with all the forgiveness, we're talking about that, the release of all the traumas, and many tools that we use during our regression to cause work. We could put things just to put Dave Elman and Freud on the same scale. If we want to put it this way, Freud admitted that hypnotic technique or techniques were easier and shorter to apply than psychoanalysis, even positively seductive and highly flattering. Yet he found therapeutic outcomes to be dependent on a harmony between patient and therapist, and therefore capricious and impermanent. Any one of you who doesn't depend on a good rapport between you and your client would fail, right? So Freud abandoned the only thing that worked with hypnotherapy by saying, okay, the rapport that is being built between the client and the therapist, it's not good, and it is totally dependent on that, and that would make it capricious, because transference can be brought up very easily when you're doing hypnotherapy. So as Klein points out, that Freud desired a school of psychology divorced from the simplified suggestion, since when hypnotic techniques are used, the patient can suggest to himself whatever he pleases. Anyone knows about someone who are we all gathered here to talk about who said all hypnosis is self-hypnosis? That's what was mentioned. Suggest to himself whatever he pleases. So, it's like shooting hypnotherapy in the foot by saying that, and considering the action of that problem of having the suggestion not working, because you as a therapist needs to implement that suggestion and not the patient. So it wasn't quite client-centered or patient-centered. So plenty of things that could be said on that level. I'm not sure. We have like 5 minutes or something still, or how long? We still have 10 minutes or something. So basically, if you want to go through that, Freud also felt that symptoms often serve a protective function. Anyone works with hypnotherapy and knows the mind model knows that the subconscious mind is self-preserving. So what Freud felt, I'm quite, his heart felt. Freud felt that symptom often serve a protective function. Yeah, tell me something new. And that those that have meaning for the patient should not be discriminately removed. That's good. He pointed out that hypnosis affords no insight into the dynamics of the problem in question. So that by itself is another proof that the subconscious mind is protective and self-preserving. So why should you unfriend? It's like if the subconscious mind had a Facebook account, I bet Freud has blocked and unfriended it at that moment in time. So, and then he goes forward and says, hypnosis hides the very resistance that needs to be recognized and overcome in psychoanalysis. And that is another proof that hypnosis is led by the subconscious mind's laziness. We say, in the mind model, subconscious mind is lazy. So basically, yeah, there is some sort of resistance to change on the subconscious level, especially if you don't build a good rapport. So the subconscious mind wouldn't trust that person who is just trying to put things that aren't there, and they're just running against its own beliefs and trying to push that subconscious mind to the limit. But just to give it go brief, because plenty of things could be said here. I'll put it in Freud's verdict. So the fact that Freud could not hypnotize all his patients, nor predict who would prove a good subject, because that's something weird, and who would not be a good subject, was one of the major frustrations with the use of hypnosis in the clinical work. He didn't know how to hypnotize everyone. And in his 5 lectures, he states, when I found that, in spite of all my efforts, I wish I could do the accent anyway, I could not succeed in bringing more than a fraction of my patients into hypnotic state, I determined to give up hypnosis. So, should Sigmund Freud be a good hypnotist? Every single hypnoanalyst on that planet, on this planet, would have been a hypnotherapist and proud of it. But unfortunately, he couldn't do that. Actually, he came up with the idea of like psychoanalysts are the heirs of hypnosis. Actually, they are the legitimate heirs. And I'm just searching for the word, the quote, not to be, some Freudians would say, like, you're inventing that. No, Freud pointed out that he was grateful to the old hypnotic technique for paving the way for psychoanalysis. That's written in Freud, 1914, 1958, page 148, if you want to search that. That psychoanalysts are, in fact, the legitimate heirs, not the heirs, okay, the heirs, inheritance of hypnosis. Actually, he has, like, the hair would stand if Freudians would hear that, of hypnosis, and that we do not forget how much encouragement and theoretical clarification we owe to it. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's it, like coming from Sigmund Freud's mouth, whichever jaw he was wearing. It feels good. It feels so good. And I want to just get you one thing important, and that is from Freud's mouth also, to just finish with it and to put it just shoulder on the shoulder with Dave Elman and tell everyone that it's hypno and therapy. Just taking the induction and the emergence away will leave us with a hot dog of therapy techniques that everyone is using. So basically, when a psychotherapist would come and say, like, hypnotherapy doesn't work, as if they are saying psychotherapy doesn't work, because we are using the same techniques. So basically, Freud believed that everybody is hypnotizable, but that hypnotizability is often hindered by resistance and other obstacles that must be, stay with me, buckle up, overcome by the hypnotist. That's, in my words, that's another proof for Elman's point of view. So basically, I could go on forever with that. So plenty of things could be done, just to put more rent into it, just to hone your regression to cause ways and techniques. Use it's not something I would say everybody is holding a book. I didn't have a book to hold in my hand, so I would hold that book. Devil's Therapy. It was built on Elman's kind and plenty of experience of researchers on a 3-phase, 7-step system that makes things work. And thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. Woo-hoo!
Excellent. Yahoo.
Great job, Daniel.
Thank you. And I didn't have any interruptions.
That's it.
Of course you didn't. Of course not.
I have plenty of questions here and comments and things about the hypnosis, effective, rapidity, induction. Yeah, actually, that's the 3 R's: like rapidity, repetitivity, and reliability. That's well put here, Wendy. Age 8 equal ISE. The thought, I don't want to grow up. Yep. SSE provides very good reason. Yeah, and then they were like overlapping, actually, the ISE and the SSE jumping over each other. 5 minutes. It's like I hit it. 3 minutes to go. I'm seeing, just reading all that. That's all we do. Resolve resistance. Yes. Are you on the panel? If not, do you? Yes, I'm here at 12. That's 7 o'clock here, I guess. Yes. So my email. I can put some links if you want to contact me. Whatever you want to do. Okay. I put.
And I think you have a website, right, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm just putting things here.
And it's listed in the back of the catalog for everyone, all the presenters. Yeah, but you can still put it there.
And that's my Instagram, and that's my email, just in case you want some references and stuff. I'll be more than glad to provide them. Feel free to contact me anytime. I don't say I talk too much. I know, but it's cool. So any questions? More questions?
Yeah.
No?
4 minutes if you want to take it. Does anybody have a question for him? Don't you love the way he just draws on that board? I'm fascinated. I love that blackboard in the neon. But it was true that when he was doing that in his Train the Trainers, he is a DHI trainer, and when he was in his class, twice he went to do it, once there and once for I think it was our book club for the day, our book study. Both times there was some force in Lebanon where he lost his internet. We lost him a few times.
Electricity and generator at the same time. It was it was a nightmare.
Anyway, you did a great job. So
actually, by the way, this is a work in progress. If anyone wants to dig more into putting Dave Elman shoulder to shoulder with the Freudian kind of ways, it could make plenty of things, because I took it on my let's put it some sort of a conviction. I had I woke up one day, said I want to teach hypnotherapy to psychology students and no one else, because now I guess at the university now I have started a revolution, because now they know what hypnotherapy is. Milton Erickson is on the side. Dave Elman is front, with spotlights on, and everybody knows that regression to cause, it's not harmful. So cool.
Great. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. So everybody is going to be coming in from the other rooms. So if you want to take a couple minute break. Does anybody have any other questions?
Congratulations, Daniel. Very nice presentation. Hi, Chef.
Thank you.
And I totally get you. I totally understand what you mean. But this is very interesting, because the Lebanese society is very, it's a melting pot. So you have a lot to do there. And this is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Indeed it is.
I know. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you.